Here's something that almost never gets said about this moment. When Satan tempts Jesus in the wilderness, Jesus doesn't argue with him. He doesn't demonstrate power. He doesn't perform a miracle to prove a point. He quotes a book, a very specific book. And the book he quotes is not what you think it is. Matthew 4, verse 4. The tempter has just said, "If you are the Son of God, command these stones to become bread." And Jesus answers, "It is written, man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that comes from the mouth of God." That's the verse. Now let's sit inside it. The Greek word Matthew uses when Jesus responds is gegraptai. It's a perfect passive verb, and that matters. It means it has been written, and it stands written. It's not someone once wrote or scripture says somewhere. It's the permanent, present tense force of a completed act. Whatever was inscribed is still in effect. Jesus isn't citing a rule. He's anchoring himself to something that can't be moved. He uses this word, gegraptai, every single time Satan comes at him in this passage. 3 temptations, 3 times. It is written. Not argument, not power, text. Now catch what he's actually quoting. He's pulling from Deuteronomy 8:3, and if you only read the snippet Matthew gives you, you miss everything. The full verse in Deuteronomy says this: God humbled Israel in the wilderness, let them hunger, and then fed them with manna, a food they had never seen and their ancestors had never known, that he might make you know that man does not live by bread alone, but by every word that comes from the mouth of God. The wilderness wasn't punishment. It was pedagogy. God was teaching Israel something through the hunger, not rescuing them from it. The deprivation was the lesson. One quick note. If you are getting something from this, please do hit the like button so that others will also get access to it. Jesus has just spent 40 days fasting in the desert. He knows Deuteronomy 8 is about exactly this situation. And he knows it because Israel faced it and failed it. They grumbled about the manna. They missed Egypt. They wanted the food they understood instead of trusting the provision they didn't. And now Jesus, in the same kind of wilderness, hungry in the same kind of way, is being handed the same test. Solve the hunger. Use what you have. Make the stones useful. Meet the material need in front of you right now. And he doesn't. Not because bread is bad, not because the hunger isn't real, but because that's not what the moment is for. The tempter is offering Jesus a shortcut out of the lesson. Jesus quotes the verse that names the lesson. He's not being stoic. He's being precise. He knows what kind of moment this is, and he knows the text that names it. So here's where this lands for you. The temptation this passage is describing isn't about food. It's about the reflex to use legitimate power for premature relief, to end discomfort before it teaches you what it came to teach. Think about the specific moments in your life where you're sitting in something hard, a decision that isn't clear yet, a relationship that isn't resolved, a season of waiting that has no deadline. And you have tools, you have resources, you have options. The question the text is actually asking is, do you trust that the hard thing is doing something, or do you reach for the bread? That's not passive acceptance of suffering. Jesus isn't preaching endurance for its own sake. He's saying there's a kind of nourishment that only comes through the Word, through understanding what God is doing in the moment, that you will never access if you short-circuit the moment to get comfortable. The manna in Deuteronomy was miraculous provision. It was real food. But the lesson wasn't the food. The lesson was learning to trust before the food arrived. And Jesus doesn't lecture Satan on any of this. He doesn't explain his theology of suffering. He just reaches for a specific sentence from a specific book in a specific chapter and lets it stand. Gegraptai, it is written. And it stays written. And it's enough, the carry line for today. The next time you're tempted to make the discomfort stop before it's finished with you, That's the moment the text is for.